3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
I'm Jessica Klein with Case Construction Equipment, and welcome to a very special edition of Case Live as we introduce the world to the most powerful and largest CTL ever built, the TV620B. We have a great night in store, and we have some very special guests. George McIntyre, Product Manager for Skids and CTLs. Wave to the folks at home, George.
Hey everybody.
Wonderful. So before we dig in, we have a special message coming in tonight from Burr Ridge, Illinois, from the CEO of CNH Industrial, Scott Wine. Take it away, Scott.
Thanks, Jessica, and thank all of you for joining us for this really exciting day for CNH Industrial and especially Case Equipment. You know, I've been in this job about 9 months now, and one of the great surprises I've found is both the strength of the Case Equipment brand and the strength of our team. And really what today is all about is bringing you the largest, most powerful compact track loader that's ever been introduced. You're going to understand our commitment to the construction business when you see this product. I also hope you've noticed that over the last few months, we've made some big investments in this company. You know, it started off with the investment in Raven, which is a technology company helping us bring great precision technology to our ag and ultimately our construction business. Sometimes you'll see us take another approach. We're like recently we announced the acquisition of Sempriana, who makes just some of the world's best compact equipment, and you'll see that in your dealerships over the next couple of years. Really, our commitment to bringing you products that are easy to use, easy to operate, so you can focus on doing the job that your customers expect. You're going to see that and hear it from our team today, and I really can't wait for you to get a chance to ride, to drive, and use some of this equipment and just see how our commitment comes through for you. Thank you again for joining us this evening, and I'm going to turn it back over to Jessica so she can show you what you've been waiting for.
So it's a big night for us here at Case. Not only do we have the largest Case CTL, but we have the largest Case Live audience that we've ever had. Thank you so much for joining. For those who have followed before, you know how this works. For our new friends, there's a Q&A box at the bottom of the screen where you can drop in your questions or comments anytime throughout the evening, and we'll get to those in the Case Live Q&A portion at the end of the event with George McIntyre and some of our other product members from the CTL team. As we said, it's a big night. If you're down in Louisville this week at Utility Expo, stop by our outdoor booth, K277, and see the TV620B live and in person. Then in a few weeks, we'll be at the ARA Rental Show in Vegas, where you can see it live there. And then we'll be coming back here to GIE in Louisville, and we'll be showcasing the TV620B to our landscaping friends. So enough of this housekeeping stuff, let's get down to it. George, congratulations, tonight's a big night for you. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. It's really exciting to be here at the utility show with the new TV620B.
Awesome, all right, so let's dig in. What is the TV620B?
Yeah, thanks, Jess. The TV620B is actually the most powerful CTL ever built, and we feel comfortable saying that for a number of reasons. We have the industry's best breakout force at bucket and the lift arm. We're tied for the highest rated operating capacity, and we got the most track length on the ground with 74 inches. And we have the best combination of hinge pin height and maximum reach at full dump in the industry. Match that with really powerful auxiliary hydraulics, super heavy duty construction, heavy duty attachments. The machine here has an 1 1/4 cubic yard, 84-inch bucket, some really impressive new control capabilities. We're confident this machine will give people the power, the lift capacity, and the stability to do some really big things, Jess.
Why, George? Why does the industry need an even bigger CTL?
That's a fair question, Jess. There's a few obvious answers to that question. Most importantly, contractors, farmers, and other CTL owners in the industry want it. The size class at this larger end of the industry is one of the fastest growing, and it's where the industry is going. And there's some very practical reasons for that. The first is lifting and loading capability. We designed this thing to be able to effectively and confidently load larger trucks, to carry larger pallets of stone, to carry and run really heavy duty attachments, and not just run them, but to run them really well. Things like mulchers and coal planers. This machine weighs 16,000 pounds and has a rated operating capacity of 6,200 pounds. It is a large, stable, and powerful platform.
George, that sounds awesome. So who runs these? Who's the operators?
You saw it in the video there, land clearing. We see this as being a true site development and land clearing machine running those really intense attachments. We'll have a role in large construction sites and an all-around type of machine that can dig more, lift more, carry more. It will add capacity there. It will have a role on some farms, certainly not as a barn machine, but most definitely in handling large hay bales, bulk and seed containers, things like that. It's a real material handler, and we do see it popular with landscapers, especially those running precision grading boxes or blades, large Harley rakes, and other attachments that can benefit from the size of this machine. And it picks up big, heavy pallets of bricks and blocks like it's picking up paper. So those things are some of the places we see it working at. Nurseries too. You saw it in the video there, working with a tree spade and easily lifting a bowl tree that weighed over 6,000 pounds like it was nothing. We've also recently added a new laser grading blade with 2D and 3D guidance capabilities that can turn a CTL like this into a compact motor grader for jobs such as paving and grading. We've also have a grading blade on the 620 at GIE here in a few weeks, as landscapers will use that on large scale patios and driveways.
What's really impressive about the TV620B is it's fully loaded. That means more things standard. George, tell us what those standard features are.
Thanks, Jess. This machine here has more standard features than ever. Well, when you build a machine this big and this powerful, it's really meant for serious equipment owners and operators. Knowing that, we believe people who buy this machine appreciate equipment that's fully loaded. That's why when you buy a TV620B, you'll get a whole list of standard features, more than ever available on a CTL. With the TV620B, you'll get standard adjustable electro-hydraulic controls, high-flow hydraulics, auto-ride control, one-way self-leveling, a hydraulic coupler, an auto-reversing fan, LED lights, and a 1-year subscription to Case SiteWatch Telematics. On top of that, it comes standard with the Site Connect module that we introduced first on the G-Series wheel loaders earlier this year. and that gives people some really powerful fleet management tools, including remote diagnostics, software updates, as well as monitoring by the Case Uptime Center. We're really adding extreme value with this machine with premium and easy to use controls and features, excellent fleet management features. It has everything you'd want in a machine this size.
Okay, so before we open it up to Q&A and we get the Q&A guy involved, let's hit on some of the high-level specs of this machine. Are you ready for rapid fire?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Rated operating capacity.
6,200 pounds.
Hinge pin height.
140 inches.
Track length.
74 inches.
Reach at max dump height.
39 inches.
Horses.
114 horses.
Wow, George, that's a lot of specs. That's a great high-level overview of the features. Where do we go next?
Well, first, I think it's important to note that this machine here actually retains a lot of the great advantages we introduced with the B Series CTLs and skid steers. New operator interface, industry-leading 360-degree visibility, an 8-inch LCD multifunction display that with the industry's only rear view camera that's on a split-screen display, and all that good stuff actually stays the same.
Nice. So Bill, the Q&A guy, is going to drop a link down into the chat box where you can access the CTL B Series brochure and familiarize yourself with some of those extra B Series features. George, what else?
Well, since we're here by the hydraulics, why don't we talk about that? So as said before, this machine actually comes standard with high flow hydraulics, and enhanced high flow is an option. But a standout new feature of this TV620B is the new hydraulics on demand feature. With that, we go into the great 8-inch LCD multifunction display in there and select the percentage of flow to the attachment, whether in standard, high flow, or enhanced high flow. That really gives the operator greater control over attachment performance.
And this thing is meant to run the heaviest of attachments, right?
Yes, between the hydraulic horsepower and the cooling package on this machine, it can consistently run big attachments such as cold planers and mulchers, and combined with the reversible fan, it makes sure your cores are clean and that cool, fresh air is able to make its way into the engine and keep things cool.
So, this is one of the strongest undercarriages I've ever seen on a Case CTL. George, tell me a little bit about it.
A big machine like this needs a big, strong base to go from. So like we talked about, we have more track length on ground than anyone, and we have this extremely robust undercarriage to support the machine. 6 rollers, double flange idlers, triple flange rollers, all while keeping ground pressure down to 6.1 PSI.
So George, with this robust of an undercarriage, we're still giving them a smooth ride, right?
Yeah, that's right. We have standard automatic ride control on this unit, which helps provide a smooth ride, improves material retention. There's no need to keep a finger on a switch to keep it engaged. If you have automatic ride control set, that all happens automatically at the speed you select in the screen.
All right, George, so setting it and forgetting it is really kind of a theme of the TV620B, and how nice is that? So tell me about the hydraulically reversing fan and all the benefits that provides.
Yeah, this machine here actually comes standard with an auto-reversible fan. Any application that works with fine material that can clog in that engine compartment, think mulching, think some ag applications, think some waste applications. Those operations benefit from the hydraulically reversing fan, and you can manually engage it, or you can set it automatically to run at certain intervals and for a predetermined length of time. Operators who've seen this feature love it, and it will go a long way at keeping airways open and cool air coming into the engine compartment.
That's awesome, George. And it still has the Case hallmark of keeping the ease of access and service, correct?
Yes, even with a machine this big, we retain easy access to all service points from the ground. And at 114 horsepower, we do it with running an SCR system in here, but no DPF, no regeneration. It's a really simple engine solution. And everything we focus on here is ease of use and operation.
Very cool, George. Let's take a walk over here to the side of the machine and let's look at this arm design and talk about our height and our reach. In published specs, there's one machine that beats us at hinge pin height and one that beats us at reach, but no machine that beats us at both. And certainly no machine that beats us at rated operating capacity.
That's right, Jess. We've actually really built a very simple and strong design with the loader arms. As it relates to the service topic we were just talking about, we're going back to heritage designs like the Case 465 and 95 XT with a straight line loader arm design that lets you tip the cab forward with the loader arms down. This is an over-the-track arm design that allows for greater reach and is actually similar in design to some of those more old-school Case skid steer and CTL models from before our Alpha series and the B series. When you take into account that reach, that height, and the rated operating capacity, we smoke the rest of the industry in overall loader dump performance. It's the combination of height and reach that allows for the loading of high-sided dump trucks.
Thank you, George. We're not here to talk about how we smoke the industry. We're here to hear from you folks at home on how the TV620B is going to help your operation. So let's transition to the Q&A and hear the questions that you've had tonight throughout the evening. Bill?
Thank you very much, Jessica, and thank you at home for joining us. I'm coming in, I got Brad Stemper, I got Eric Zeeser with me, and welcome to this very exciting, very special edition of Case Live. We're here at a live trade show. If you've ever been in Louisville, there are planes flying overhead. We've got pressure washing happening behind us. It's an exciting time here. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for spending this quality time with us even in the evening. Again, as Jessica said earlier, we will be doing this as we normally do. Any questions that you have, drop them down in the Q&A box down below, and we'll be answering as many questions as we can throughout the course of the afternoon here. And we're going to start out. We've got a lot of great questions here. I want to start out, do something a little different than we usually do just because of the amount of stuff coming in. First things first. Leon Smedra says that he's looking forward to having this on his property. We are too, Leon. We can't wait for you to have one. Edward Veris checking in from Maui, and you would think that would be hard to beat. But we also have a Miss Trudy Francis checking in from Kingstown, Jamaica. If you were looking at the chat box, you saw a little bit of a roll call. We got people from Massachusetts and Illinois and California and West Virginia. Thank you all for spending time with us here today. A couple other quick ones that I can answer before throwing it back out to the panel. Will this be at Tomahawk? Of course. All good things come and are in Tomahawk. Josh Abel said 16,000 pounds. Really? Yes. Machine this big, this powerful, isn't going to weigh 9,000 pounds. This is a 16,000 pound operating machine. A couple shout outs here. Doug Carroll, Joe, Mikey Edison. Thank you for joining us here tonight. We're excited you could be here. And first question that we're going to throw out to the audience. George, I'm going to throw this one out to you, sir. The LED lights, standard or optional?
Yes, thanks, Bill. As I mentioned before, there are a lot of standard features on this machine, and LED lights is one of those standard features, and they are fully adjustable.
Thanks, George. Eric, I'm going to throw this next one here out to you. When will these machines be arriving at dealerships?
Thanks, Bill. So like all production right now, the machine behind us is built here in Wichita, Kansas. We have machines rolling down our assembly line right now. We're kind of in that manufacturing ramp-up phase. However, like the rest of the world, we are suffering from supply chain challenges, trying to get trucks in, trucks out. So we're working our hardest to expedite those parts, get you guys the best quality built machine, and have these machines on trucks rolling to dealers in Q4 of this year.
Thanks, Eric. Brad, I'm going to throw this one out to you. This is from Pat Williamson at home. Pat asks, is this the result of the DL550B prototype that has been seen for the last few years? And is that 550 still coming?
Thanks for your question, Pat. It's a very good question. I'm sure you've seen some of the other conversation about it as well. The DL550 is still coming. It is a unique product in itself in that it's a combination of what you see here as well as an integrated C-frame and dozer blade on the front of it. So for those that didn't know about the DL550, it is going to be giving us that combination loader and dozer in one single machine. We expect that DL550 to go ahead and be available in Q2 next year as we ramp up and continue our validation efforts on it. The one thing that I will comment is we also received some questions about steel undercarriage, okay? And if this machine comes with steel undercarriage, The steel undercarriage is being developed in cooperation or in coordination with that DL550. So right here you see the rubber track undercarriage that is most often seen on CTLs, but we are going to offer a steel undercarriage on it. Basically a size down version from our 650M dozers. That's going to go on to both this machine and the DL550, and that's going to be available in two track types, a 14-inch single bar grouser and an 18-inch triple bar grouser.
Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it very much here. One of the first questions that came in tonight, and I'm going to throw this out to George. And George, you touched on it a bit, but Chad Walker wants to know, will this machine run a high-powered mulcher?
Oh, absolutely. This machine really was designed to be able to operate those high-powered attachments like mulchers. We're actually working with our partner, and there's been a new mulcher developed that will be running on this machine, a 72-inch width. It's a perfect fit for the TV620B.
George, Brad, I'm going to keep the questions coming towards you folks. We have no fewer than 5 questions asking about steel tracks on this machine. Are there plans to eventually introduce a version of this with steel tracks?
Yes. As I just mentioned, this machine will receive a steel track option when that DL550 comes out in Q2 of next year.
Thanks, Brad. Number of other questions here about guarding kits. Brad, George, or Eric, any of you gentlemen have a commentary on guarding kits
George,
that might be available?
Yeah, I'll take that one. Yeah, we absolutely know that we need a guarding package for the TV620B because of where this machine is going to be operating in. We are working with our partner supplier on it, and we will have one available shortly after launch.
Thank you, George. We have a couple of questions in here about pricing. As with any pricing questions, we always encourage you to go and visit your local case dealer to have that discussion. Any of you folks, Mark Dean wants to know, is the machine only offered in a vertical lift pattern or is radial available as well?
Eric, you want to take that one?
Sure. So as you know, in our case model lineup, the TV, the T for tracks, V for vertical lift. Right now we're planning to offer only in a vertical lift system. You look at the industry size, you go to the large compact track loaders, really the industry is demanding a vertical lift system. The applications we're going into with lots of lifting of pallets, heavy materials, truck loading, operators really desire that vertical lift system. So our plan is to keep it vertical, keep it simple with this model and TV620B.
Thank you, Eric. Jessica, I'm going to throw this one out to you. People are curious, are there videos and product information that will be available online? And I'm going to add to that, when will that be available?
Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining Case Live. There's a preview, or this is the exclusive announcement. So content won't be online until tomorrow morning, but you can find that at kce.com/TV620B. You can also follow us on YouTube, the Case Construction Equipment channel, and all the videos will be up there tomorrow as well.
Awesome. Brad, can you explain for the folks at home a little bit more about the connected capabilities of this machine?
Absolutely, Bill. So as with a lot of products these days, customers and fleet management applications, as well as owner-operators, care about keeping track of what their machine is doing. So there's connected capabilities through telematics modems as well as internal data analytics sites. So the machine is going to be connected, and we are actually equipping this machine with the next generation of modem from Case Construction. That processing and communications modem, PNCM for short, is connected on this machine. It's going to also grant us additional functions and features that today's normal modem is not capable of, such as remote service tool and firmware over-the-air updates. So look for those functionalities in your fleet as well as in your owning and operating application to make sure this machine is up and running for you and you understand how it's working.
Thank you, Brad. And we're having a beautiful twilight here in Louisville. We're going to take questions here for a little bit longer, but before we do that, I'm going to take a minute to plug the next Case Live. Just about a month from now, at the end of October, we will be bringing dozers, graders, and machine control. Nathaniel Waldschmidt and Jeremy Dulock and Richie Snyder will be joining us for that very exciting next edition of Case Live. I'm dropping the registration link for that into the chat box right now. We hope that you'll join us. A question here, George, what is the standard bucket size on this machine?
So the standard bucket size is an 84-inch width and 1¼ cubic yards.
That's taller than I am. Why?
Yep.
Brad,
Sure is, Brad.
That's a slippery slope, man. We don't want to go down there. So, hey, same person asked as well about any kind of suspension for the ride. But, George, we've got a lot of stuff built into this meant to help smooth out the ride on this machine. There's automatic ride control and a few other things. Tell the people at home how we're making that ride smooth.
Yeah, so we have automatic ride control, again, as standard equipment on this machine. And what that allows you to set a speed and just let it go, and it'll automatically go into ride control at that speed.
Thank you, George. Another question here, track width. What is the track width on this machine?
So the track width of this machine is similar to what we have on the TV450. It's 17.7 inches wide.
Thank you, George. A lot of questions coming in, folks, and I between the chat box and the Q&A, I can tell you we're not going to get to all of them tonight. If we don't get to your question tonight, keep asking them. We will have all of the team members here follow up with folks after the show today. Next question, though, that we are going to jump to is, will the same features, and Eric, I'm going to throw this one out to you, will the same feature standardization on the 620B be standard on the remaining models in the future?
Great, thanks, Bill. So, like most of our product lineup, the minute we introduce a new feature on a certain model or a certain product line, really our goal is to drive that across the Case product line to have that common feel, Case DNA across our products. We got several new features on the TV620B launching today, like a decel pedal. We have hydraulics on demand. Things like that we're already working on, already in process, about to happen on different product lines and offerings. So our B-Series skid steers and CTLs will soon be having hydraulics on demand, the same as this machine. And as we move forward in our product lineups, we'll take features vice versa from other product lines down to the CTL, and from CTL to the backhoes, compact wheel loaders, wherever applicable to meet your needs on the job site.
Thank you very much, Eric. Another question here, George, I'm going to throw this one at you, sir. Will the TV620B have the same warranty as the rest of the product lineup?
Yes, absolutely, Bill. This TV620B will have the same warranty as the rest of the CTL lineup, which is 2 years or 2,000 hours.
Thank you, George. Question here, a couple questions to this. We've talked about the 84-inch, 1.25 cubic yard bucket. Any plans for any larger buckets?
Yes, certainly we're looking at different buckets to made up with this machine. One of the things we found is that the buckets on the rest of our CTL lineup just don't match up to the power of this machine. So we are looking at different areas where we can make some adjustments there. Oh, one other thing I want to mention though, this machine behind me is actually shown with welded on teeth, but it also comes available with a cutting edge as well.
Thank you, George. Brad, I'm going to throw another question out to you. Compact equipment models seem to be getting bigger every year. Do you see the machines continuing to grow in size in what has traditionally been a compact product?
Yeah, definitely. It's a good question for whomever asked it, so thanks. As we look at the size of compact equipment, I think that we can say that customers need and desire more production out of their product that they used to have only in the compact range. I would like to say that this is the largest one that may come, but we'll kind of see and we'll evaluate what the customer's needs are, what their applications are that require high flow or additional pressure on their attachments. So we'll continue to evaluate that. And the most important thing to take away from that is the full spectrum of products within the construction equipment realm is really, it covers a lot of operations. So whether it's a larger wheel loader or a dozer or even excavators to get more earth dug, you have capabilities and other products to go ahead and do the work that you need done.
Thank you, Brad. Question here from Mike. Mike wants to know, will there be a mechanical control option or just the electro-hydraulic?
Yeah, I can take that one, Bill. So yeah, on this machine, we decided to go with the electro-hydraulic controls as standard equipment. What we found in some of our other larger CTLs, that's what the customer base or customers are looking for. On the TV450B, almost almost 100% of them, I'd say like 98% of them are being sold today with electro-hydraulic controls. So we carried over that with our new model, the TV620B.
Thank you, George. Eric, I'm going to throw this one out to you. Is the machine available with an open cab or canopy option?
Like George just said, we're kind of trying to mirror our offering on the current B series product lineup. So same standard features as an open canopy, but also available to have that cooled heat and air conditioned cab at the same time. So both, Bill.
Thank you very much, Eric. I've got a lot of questions coming in, and I'm going to throw this out to the team. A lot of questions about engine fuel tank size, def tank size, estimated run times. Gentlemen, what have we done to the fuel, def tanks in this, and what can we expect for run time throughout the day?
Yeah, I can take that one as well, Bill. So what we've done with the fuel tank size is it's increased the capacity of it about 25%. It's a 30-gallon fuel tank on a TV620B. And we are looking to match that up with a full operation day, of course.
Thank you, George. A couple of questions on the coupler. George, maybe tell the folks at home, what is the standard coupler, and are there any other coupling options for attachments on the front end there?
Right, so similar to what the answer was before when we asked about the mechanical controls, well, it's the same answer for the hydraulic coupler. Almost 100% of what we sell today on the next size down, which is the TV450B, is sold with the hydraulic coupler. And so we're offering this machine here with the hydraulic coupler option only.
Thank you, George. Another question here from the folks at home. If I buy it today with a rubber track, can I add steel tracks in the future?
You want to take that one, Eric?
Sure, I can take that. So as Brad said earlier, we're working on the steel tracks and final release of those coming next year with Minotaur, the DL550. So steel tracks will be offered on this model at that point in time. Obviously, kind of like our compact excavators on our other product lines, you can swap the steel tracks and rubber tracks. However, it's not a direct one for the other. There are some undercarriage components that are dedicated to that steel track that have changed as well. So.
Thanks, Eric. I've got about 3 or 4 questions here asking about precision construction technologies, mentioning just about every manufacturer built. We showed footage earlier of the laser grading blade that we've worked with, and we've shown that with Leica Geosystems technology outfit on it. But in general, how is this as a platform for operating attachments like that have precision solutions on them?
I can take that, Bill. So precision solutions in a whole can be adopted to a lot of different product lines from all the different suppliers, or many of the different suppliers. The system that we've chosen, Leica, for this machine is custom set up for this machine specifically. But through some additional work or using some of the systems on your own machine, it can be adapted to this machine. It'll usually go on to the attachment on this machine. So it would have to be set up for that attachment, such as a laser grade, box blade, or a grading setup.
Thank you, Brad. A number of questions here, and I'm trying to get as many in here. We're going to take a few more questions here, so I'm paraphrasing a few to combine them together. We talked about it a little bit in the video package, George, there, but talk a little bit about the serviceability of the machines. I'm seeing some questions here about access to grease points. I'm seeing questions about tipping the cab forward. What have we done to make this easy to use and service for the folks at home?
Yeah, one of the changes that you'll see on this new model versus the TV450, for example, is we have gone to the straight line loader linkage, which actually allows us to tip the cab forward when the loader arms are in the down position or are in the up position. So you have better access to the components underneath the cab. Also, we've carried over a lot of our ground line servicing points that we have on the rest of the CTL model and the skid steers, and those are easily accessible at the rear of the machine as you open up the rear door and the rear hood. And then also the panel that's right behind me, a smaller panel right underneath the TV620B logo. That's where you have access to your battery, as well as that's where the electric disconnect switch for the machine is.
Thank you very much, George. number of additional questions about the rubber tracks. Are there additional patterns available? Are there optional rubber tracks other than what comes from the factory? What are the rubber track options on this machine?
Take that, Eric? Sure. I think like this machine, 16,000 pound machine, everything is heavy duty. So with that, we only have one rubber track available. That's a heavy duty track. So as you can see on this machine, it's got that heavy duty H pattern to give you the good ride that George talked about earlier, good traction, but also a good life on the 16,000 pound unit.
Thank you, George. I think they just tried to catch the plane flying directly overhead of us. We are directly in the Louisville flight path here. Question here about, talk a little bit about, we've had a number of questions about the testing that has gone into the machine, you know, in what cases done to test this before we brought it to market. And it's been asked in a few different ways, but talk maybe just a little generally about how we've really put this thing to the test before bringing it to the customers at home.
So yeah, I can take that one, I suppose. So I think we heard lots of comments at ConExpo 2020, you know, where is Minotaur, where's the machine? Everybody saw it there, they wanted the machine. And so that was a year and a half ago now, pre-pandemic, when we were at Las Vegas together. And so now we're sitting here at the TV620B, as Brad mentioned, you know, really mirrors a lot of those same features designed from our Minotaur DL550. So if you look at the time it's elapsed from when we first showed that machine in 2017, and then again at ConExpo 2020, that kind of gives you a little indication of how long this machine has been in validation. So throughout the videos you saw earlier, you saw the number of job sites the machine was on. It's been in many customers' hands. It's been in our labs. It's been in our validation proving grounds in Wichita at our factory and our R&D center. So this thing has gone through many courses of validation to make sure it's ready for you guys in Q4.
Thanks, Eric. I'm gonna rapid fire a couple of questions here in the interest of answering as many for the folks at home as we can. Are there any plans for a forestry package?
Yeah, as mentioned before, we do have a guarding package that's planned to be on this machine shortly after launch.
Bluetooth radio. I'm not as good at the rapid fire as Jessica was. Bluetooth radio.
B-Series.
Yeah.
Come on.
The B-Series machines launched in 2020 with a Bluetooth radio. That radio carries over to this machine as well.
But I mean, like that, Brad, like the Bluetooth, every other feature that's in the B-Series is also on this machine. The 8-inch display, the backup camera like George talked about earlier today. So make sure you check it out. If you haven't seen a B-Series in your dealer lot yet, go check one out in addition to this one.
Are the joysticks and controls the same as in the other B-Series models?
Yes, it's a carryover of the joysticks and controls that we have on the rest of the B-Series models. The intuitive controls that we have in there, as well as the display screen, allows you to actually set your electro-hydraulic controls to the precise type of operation that you're going to be going into.
Just a couple more questions, folks, and then we're going to call it a night here. Thank you again for joining us. My last rapid fire question before I ask a couple more, ground clearance.
Go ahead, George.
12.5 inches ground clearance.
So it's a big machine, but it still gets around pretty well. Big machine, but it gets around pretty well. We talked about it having the best lift and bucket breakout forces. Can we tell the folks at home what those breakout forces were again?
The breakout forces, so you got a bucket breakout force, and then you have your lift breakout force for your loader arms. They're both in a little bit over 12,000 pounds of breakout force. So if you look at competitive specs out there, they're not even going to come close to those specs.
And with that, folks, this brings to an end our very special edition of Case Live, introducing you to the new TV620B. If you are down here in Louisville, Kentucky at the Utility Expo, come join us out in outdoor booth K277. You can't miss us when you're taking the loop around the Expo Center. And as Jessica said earlier, we'll be bringing this to the ARA Rental Show and the GIE Show back here in Louisville at the end of October. And before you know it, you will see it in your Case dealer lots as well. Thank you all for spending time with us here again tonight. We hope you'll join us at the end of October for the next edition of Case Live. And have a good night from Louisville. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, Jess.
Thank you. Night, everybody. Thank you.